Hello Sumate, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we'll be learning how to make a short with an elastic waistband and side pockets. You can see how neatly done this one is. I'm going to be walking us through the process step by step. So on the table I have just 1 yard of the scrap fabric. I've had it for a long time and I've been wondering what I can do with it, so I decided to make a short 1 yard like I said. So I have my paper. On the upper part of the paper, I'm marking 3 inches away on the top of the paper because we are going to be drafting the front and back of the short together. Okay, so after marking the 3 inches, I'm going to rule a straight line. So after connecting the straight line, the next thing I want to do now is to label that line as my waistline. Okay, then from the waistline I will go down by 8 inches as my hip measurement. Okay, the measurement from your waist to your hip. Mine is 8 inches. Okay, so I'm going to roll a straight line on the 8 inches because that's where the hip measurement circumference will rest on. After getting the hip line, the next thing we want to do is to get the cross depth. Okay, so how do you get your cross depth? Divide your hip measurement by 4. Okay, so when you divide it by 4, whatsoever it gives you is your cross depth. But this pant is not going to be fitted, it's free. So I added 1 inch. After dividing my hip measurement by 4, I added 1 inch to it to get 11.25. If not, if I divide the hip measurement by 4, it's going to give me 10.25, but I added 1 inch to make it 11.25 because it's going to be a free pant and I don't want the crotch to be firm on my body. Okay, so after that, the next thing I want to do now is to now impute the hip measurement. My hip measurement divide by 4. I'm going to impute it on the crotch. You can see me labeling it. The second line is the crotch line, then the hip line. So I'm going to impute my hip measurement divide by 4, which is 10.5 on the crotch line and on the waistline. Then I will connect a straight line. So I'm just going to square the line up. After that, I'm going to take the full measurement of the short. Now it depends on how short you want it or how long you want it. So for this one, I used 18 inches for the full length of the short. I added extra 2 inches for hemming allowance, which is also folding allowance. So I went ahead to connect everything quickly. So after connecting it together, the next thing we want to work on now is the crush. Okay, so to get the crush now, you measure on the crush line. You measure to that straight line we rule. You know it's 10.5 we measured on that crush line straight to the waistline. So that 10.5 on that place, divide it by 4. Whatsoever it gives you is what you use to extend your crush. So that's what you use to create your crush curve. So you bring your curve roller and connect it the same way you can see me do here. So after connecting it, the next thing we'll go ahead to do now is to extend the measurement downwards. So if I measure from the crush line now, on the crush line, I'm just going to take the full measurement to the edge of the crush extension. So whatever measurement it gives to me now, I'll go ahead and place it on the hem of the short. Okay, so I'm just going to connect from the crush line to that point. Can you see what we have there? So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the lower part. So you can see me that it stops at the full measurement of the short. Then from there I connected to this extra 2 inches again. It's just to make sure that it is straight from the hem, from the full length of the short to the hem is straight, so that when you're folding it is easy for you. Then on the side I came in by 1/2 inch. Why I did this is because I want it to give me this little curve on the side, so that it doesn't just remain straight. I just want it to give me a little curve because it's for a lady, right? So I just want to create a little curve on this part. So I'm going to remove the 1/2 inch from the hem too. Then I will connect a straight line. So after doing that, I'm now going to go ahead. Don't forget that it is an elastic waistband. Okay, so whichsoever measurement I have on the hip line, I'm supposed to use on the waistline. But for the waistline, I'm going to minus about 1/2 inch from the waistline. Okay, so that I get that little curve I'm still talking about. Do you understand? Now you can, if you have a very tiny waist, right, you can minus like 1 inch or more from it. So after connecting the waistline, the next thing we want to do now is to extend the waistline like for the back. Okay, So I came in by 2 inches from the waistline and I rule a straight line. I'm not meant to do it here. I'm meant to do it after adding the extra 2 inches for the back, but I'll correct it, okay? Then you connect a slant line to the sides of the short. Why? This is for the back. You can see me extending it again, 2 inches from the main measurement. Then on the hip line, you mark 2 inches too. Then you rule a straight line. Do you understand? So it is from these 2 inches I'm meant to connect the slant line. Can you see that I reconnected it? So what you're doing now, this slant and this place you increase with 2 inches. Now that's where will be at your center back and it covers your bum when you sit down. So on the crush for the back now, whatsoever you use to extend the crush for the front, add ½ inch to it. Then you now come down by ½ inch. Let's say the crush for the front was 2 inches. I'll add ½ inch to it, 2.5. I will now come down by ½ inch and connect with my curve ruler. You can see what I'm doing here. So after connecting it now, you know we added 2 inches from the waistline to the hip line. You're going to extend the 2 inches to the lower part of the short. Can you see what I'm doing? So on the main measurement of the short, I marked 2 inches. On the extra 2 inches I added for hemming, I marked 2 inches and I squared it up just to make sure that it's straight. When I'm folding it, I don't struggle to fold it. Then I'm going to connect from the crush to the full length. And you can see that our short is ready, the back and the front of the short. So the extra 2 inches we added now round it is the back. Then this is the front. So here is how we're going to do it. I'm just going to go ahead and truss it out. Then I will fold my fabric and place it on it. Then we are going to cut it together, okay? So here now, I have gone ahead to fold my fabric properly. You can see. So we're cutting the back pattern first, okay? So I will just go ahead and trace it out according to the pattern paper. So after cutting it out, I'm going to go ahead now. You know the front and the back is together. And the extra 2 inches we added now is the back, is what makes it up to the back. So we're now going to remove those extra that we added to the main pattern now so that we can get the front pattern, okay? So what I will do now, I will just go ahead and trim the extra 2 inches we added, the crush extension and the waist that we extended with 2 inches upwards to create a slant. I will remove everything. Then after I remove all of those excesses from it, the next thing I want to do now, on the waistline, the center front, I will come down by ½ inch to create a curve. You can either use your straight ruler to do this part. It's just so it fits well on your waistline, okay? Some people use 1 inch and it still fits. It just creates this curve that goes around your waistline and it sits well. So after that, I'm just going to trace it out. You can see that I've created my curve to the side. So after tracing it out, I'm just going to go ahead and fold the fabric properly so I can place the fabric. We'll go ahead and cut. So you can see here I've arranged my fabric. Now is carrying a pocket like I said from the beginning. So from the side of the short, I went in by 3 inches and I came down by 6 inches. So I now use my curve ruler to connect the 3 inches and the 6 inches together to give us the pocket curve. Now you can decide to use your straight ruler to just create a slant. It's all the same thing, okay? So after that now, I'm just going to now cut. You know this is the front pattern and the pockets are fed both sides of the front. That's why I'm cutting. You know the fabric is already folded into two. That's why I'm cutting everything together. So we've cut the pocket part out. I'm just going to trace other parts of the shorts from the fabric. So after cutting it all out, we have the front and the back pattern ready. So I'm just going to go off camera and cut the pocket piece. Then I will tell us the measurement I used for the pocket piece. So the front and back of the short is ready. The next thing now is the pocket. We're going to work on the pocket together. You would have gotten your shorts pattern. Then I went ahead to cut out some pieces, 9 inches long and 7 inches wide. So what you do, you are going to spread it. So it was on fold, right? So you spread it. So on fold, it's measured 9 inches long and 7 inches wide. So there is this part I used to cut out the pocket when I was drafting. So I'm going to place it the same volume I cut out from the trouser to create the pocket opening. It's same thing I'm going to use to cut on the pocket here like this. So you can see how I placed it on the pocket. So I'm just going to curve it, follow the exact curve so that it fits in properly. Okay, so after that, I'm just going to trim a little from the upper part because I feel like it wasn't aligning, so I had to make sure that it is straight enough. So after doing that, the next thing you want to do now, spread your shorts open, like the pieces of the shorts you've already cut out, which is the front pattern. That's what we're working on. If it's a skirt, it's the same thing you would do. Okay, so you just spread it open on both sides, but I'm going to be showing us with just one side so that the video is not too long. So when you spread it open, you pick your pockets. So now don't forget that we spread the fabric open, right side facing each other, and we cut on both sides. So you are going to place it accordingly. Can you see what I'm doing? You place it accordingly. The curve part meeting with the curve part, you go straight to your sewing machine and you join the pocket pieces and the short itself together. So I'll go to the sewing machine and join it together and come back. So after joining it, this is what we have. I've gone ahead to join it and I did top stitching on it also. So you can see what we have. I went ahead to run a very tiny stitch to press it down so that it relaxes very well. Can you see what I'm showing us? So I press it down. You know how to do top stitch. So after doing that, you're going to flip it to the wrong side so that you can arrange the pocket very well. It's very easy. So when you flip it, you know that we already have a gaiter to stand as the midpoint of the pocket. So you're just going to fold it into two. So when you fold it this way, your pocket is already coming together. Go ahead and join the lower part together. I'll do that and come back. So here now I've gone ahead to join the lower part together, and this is what we have. You can see that our pocket is already coming out nicely. So when you flip it to the right side, this is what you have, right? So what you're going to do now, you can see that by the side it is open, so you're going to press it like you are joining the shorts, you are joining the shorts with the pocket together. You also press the upper part together. So I'll go to the machine and do that. So here now I've gone ahead to do that. I've gone ahead to press the fabric together, like join the pocket to the knicker pattern, which is the short pattern. I've done that, and this is what we have. When you flip it to the wrong side, this is what it looks like. So I will repeat the same thing for the other parts. So now we now have the both pockets already fixed. So what I'm going to do now is that we're going to join it together. So we're joining it from the waistline to the crotch area. Just run a straight stitch. We'll do the same thing for the back pattern. So I will bring the back pattern for us. So you can see the two pieces of the back. We will be joining it from the waistline. You make sure that you are joining right side facing right side. After joining it that way, so you bring the front and back together. I've gone ahead to join it like so. So I'm going to spread both the front and back on top each other. Don't forget you're spreading it right side facing right side. Okay, so one thing you have to take note of is that once you are sewing a pant, you first of all, to put the front and back together, you start from the crotch. You can see me pinning it together. So I'm going to run a straight stitch from the middle and just run it across to the other side. So after, I will go to the machine, do that, and after that, this is what we have. Gone ahead to sew it. So the next thing now is to pull the sides together. Okay, you can see that we've joined the crotch area, so we have to put the sides together. So you arrange it properly. Go ahead and join. Please, your joining is half an inch. Okay, don't join with more than half an inch. So I'll go ahead and do that and come back. After that, this is what we have. The front and back has been put together. So the next thing I will go ahead and do now is to fold the lower part. I will go ahead and hem it, and after hemming it, we can now go ahead and fix the elastic waistband together. Like I've been saying recently, the first thing to do when you want to fix your waistband is you would have joined your trouser or your skirt, whatever you're adding the band to together. Then you will go ahead and measure the waistline round. Measure the waistline round. I already have my elastic with me. So whatsoever the measurement gives to you, that's what you use to cut on your band. So here, I'm just cross-checking the measurement again, okay? So to be on a safer side. So now I'm just going to cut through the band. The measurements I've gotten from the waistline now is what I will use to cut through the band. So if you measure your waistline and it's 40, you will add 1 inch to it to make it 41, because we're going to be joining both ends of the band before attaching the elastic. So how did I get my elastic measurement? I minus 6 inches from my usual waist measurement. The width of the elastic I'm using here is 3.5. So this is the elastic. I minus 6 inches from my normal waist measurement to get the elastic. So it has to be how stretchy the elastic is for you to get the measurement. Some are very stretchy, some are not stretchy at all. This one I'm working with is not so stretchy, okay? So what I did now, first of all, I went to join the elastic together and I made sure that I ran stitches across it severally on top each other. Can you see what I'm doing? I just ran stitches on it severally. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to put the bands together. You know, I told you are going to be joining the bands together. So I'll go ahead and put the bands together. So you make sure that it is right side facing right side. Don't forget that the band is already been folded into two here. So you fold it this way, right side facing right side. Then you go ahead and join with 1/2 inch. That was why I added 1 inch to it the other time, because 1/2 inch from this other end and 1/2 inch for the other end to join is 1 inch in total. So after that, I'll go back to the machine and press it down neatly. So after pressing it down now, this is what we have. You can see how flat it is. So now we are now going to attach the elastic. So what you do, push the elastic to the middle of the band. You know, we've already ironed the band, the tutu, and there is a gator line at the center. So you push the elastic through it. Go ahead and pin it down with your needle. So after pinning it down like this, you're going to sew on the edge of the elastic, the lower part of the elastic, okay? So now you can see that the elastic is way shorter than the full band that we're working on. So as you're sewing now, you have to drag the elastic to make sure that it goes round. If you don't drag it, one part is going to be very stretchy, then the other part is not going to be stretchy at all. So you can see how I'm dragging it. I make sure that I drag this elastic very well, because the elastic measurement is not up to half of the measurement I am working with, because it is my hip measurement I use for the waistline of the shorts, because it's not meant to be a fitted short, okay? So you can see how I'm dragging it. So as you're dragging it, you're sewing on it. Don't forget that the first part I'm sewing on is the edge of the elastic. So I'm pressing the elastic together with the fabric. So like I've said, stretch it. You can see how I'm dragging it. That's how you should drag it, so that the elasticity of the elastic goes round the shorts, okay? So that one part is not tight on you and one part is not free. So you drag it. Make sure you're dragging it very well, that you know that what you're dragging can go around the full waistline of the band you're working on. So I will just continue to drag and sew like this until I'm done running the elastic around the waistband. You can see that I am dragging it very well and it's so smooth. So when I'm done, I will just cut off the thread like so. So I'm going to run another line on the upper part of the elastic, okay? So I'm just pressing it down neatly. So I will run another straight line on the upper part of the elastic also. So you can see that I am also dragging it. So because you've dragged the first part does not mean you're not going to drag again. As far as this band is concerned, until you're done attaching it to the short, you are going to drag and drag until you are done. So you can see how I'm still dragging it, okay? So that's how you will drag it until you're done. Now, I was actually making a very nice shot here. If you want to see the full video, let me know in the comment section. So once I'm done like this, I'm just going to go ahead to trim off the excesses. Then we can now attach the bands to the shorts. You can see how beautiful the band is. The band is so beautiful, and the shorts itself turned out so beautiful. So you can see me trimming out the excesses. Then after that, we will go ahead and join the bands to the shorts together. Like I said, if you want to see the full video of how I made the shorts from the beginning to the end, let me know in the comment section. The shot came out so pretty. I might just drop a video of it on my body at the end of the video. So this is it. What you're going to do now, you're going to attach the band to the waistline of the shorts. Now, because we've added the elastic to the band, now you can see that the band now is now shorter than the waistline. So what you're going to do, you are going to drag again. As you're joining it to the shorts, you are dragging. Okay, so you drag and make sure that the band is going round the waistline of the shorts. Okay, so you're dragging it very well. You drag it and make sure that it is smooth, like it rests flat on the machine as you're dragging it. Both sides, both the shorts and the waistband rest flat. There is no part that is squeezing or packing. Okay, so can you see how I'm dragging it? So this is how I will continue to drag it and sew it around the waistline. So I'm just going to forward this other part to not waste our time. So as I'm dragging, I'm sewing. As I'm dragging, I'm sewing until I have completely finished sewing the band to the waistline of the shorts. And when I'm done, I will tighten it, and this is what we have. You can see how pretty it is, right? So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. See you in my next video, and thank you very much for watching. Bye.